Well, first of all, it's going to be a season of distractions. I mean, they had a magic carpet ride that ended abruptly in Jerry World with Aaron Rodgers. But as far as what they got out of two of their marquee guys are going to be the face of the franchise for the next 10 to 15 years, especially as far as Dak is concerned at quarterback. Now, these two talented players, and then now you're taking one away. So we argued all last season, oh, who's more valuable? Oh, you're getting ready to find out. And you're getting ready to find out how important it is when you can hand the ball 18 to 24 times to a guy, and he can churn out 100 to 150 yards. Their team averaged 150 yards, led the NFL, and how it's deodorant for a lot of other things on Dallas that stinks. Right. Their defense, their lack of a pass rush. How does this defense play when it can't play from the lead, which it did most of all last season? The quarterback. Oh, he's mature beyond his years. It was different when you have Zeke behind you. He could hand him the ball. But now, do they double Dez? What do they do to Jason Witten? Those other running backs that are backups, Alfred Morris, yeah, they're good players.
Darren McFadden.
He's a good NFL player. But they're not great NFL players. And the reason why they're backups for a reason. Because they have less dimensions to their game than Zeke. They're not as good in pass protection. They're not as good as running the ball. They're not as good as a pass receiver coming out of the backfield. And they don't have the respect of the other 31 defensive coordinators in the league that, you know something, I got to put 8 guys into the line of scrimmage, which made deciphering and understanding the NFL game a lot easier for Dak in year one. It will be more difficult for Dak in year 2 without Zeke.
And we don't really know if Alfred Morris and Darren McFadden are still good NFL players. We know they were in their time, but last year, it was all Zeke all the time. Like, if those guys lost a step last year, we wouldn't have seen it. 204 carries for 1,120 yards. Say that again. 204 carries for 1,120 yards. That's what Zeke did on first down last year. Over 5 yards.
So he rushed for 1,000 yards.
He rushed for 1,100 yards on first down. Guess what that led to? Who do you think was the best offense in the league on second down? The Dallas Cowboys. They were a top 3 offense on first down. Why? Because of Ezekiel Elliott. Now, you know me. Last year, I was damn near the president of the Dak Prescott fan club. I thought we held his draft position against him in evaluating how good he really was playing. But man, oh man, the safety blanket of Ezekiel Elliott was real, and now you're without him for nearly 40% of your season. That's a big deal in a conference in the NFC that's as good as this one is.
But isn't it also a big deal to put your entire game plan into one guy? I mean, if you ask Bill Belichick about how important everyone is, whether he believes it or not, he's going to tell you, you can take anyone out. We're still going to have the same game plan. We're still going in. And I don't just mean like he's a great guy. He big numbers on first down on all day. He's a great guy. I mean, to put so much stock into one guy, and now you're just going to always hope and pray that this guy doesn't get hurt and he's there. How does everyone else step up to at least not make it a complete fall off a cliff kind of season?
No, that happened to Bill Belichick. It happened in Tom Brady.
Correct. And you never heard panic out of anyone.
Oh, they only won 10 games. They were not a Super Bowl contender.
11-5. But
11-5, yes.
5-game. Everyone says 11-5. They were great.
11-5.
Yeah, but that's -5 wins from 16-0 the year before. Sorry, go ahead.
Right. He got hurt in game 1. All right. Backup finished the game. They ended up winning 10 more games to finish 11. So they did change. Last year, great example. And you're right. Gronk got hurt. They still end up winning the Super Bowl. But the way their team is developed, they don't want one guy besides Tom Brady carrying the load. And you can't do that when you have a running back. When you have a great running back, which there's only a handful of them in the league, the game plan starts like this, Jenna. We're going to give that guy the ball 25 times. Now, the average NFL game has 65 plays. So when I've removed 40 plays from the offensive coordinator, now there are a variety of different things, but I've removed 40 of them because that guy, the star, in a running back in the NFL, he makes the game so much easier because you don't have to manage as many things. There's a thing called broken tackles in the NFL. You can't teach that. That's what Zeke does. There's called yards after contact. You can't teach those things. And coaches can't game plan for those extra things, those intangibles that great players add to your team.
And Jenna, you're right when you point to Belichick. He might be the only coach in the league, though, that's true for.
But it has to be true. It has to be true for everyone. Otherwise, you say, well, there goes our season. We'll try again next year.
Maybe ideally, everyone would have the approach of maybe the greatest coach ever. I watched the San Diego Chargers last year. San Diego Chargers have talent. They had one of the best defensive players in the league as a rookie, Joey Bosa. They still have one of the best quarterbacks in the league in Phillip Rivers. But guess what? Week 1, the guy they were counting on to be their playmaker on offense, Keenan Allen, he tore his ACL. Now, that's worse than a 6-game suspension, but they knew he was going to be out, and they fell apart. I don't think the Cowboys will fall apart, but I do believe this. If we are counting the 8 best teams in football, 6 of them are in the NFC. The Patriots and the Steelers are 2 of the 8 best. The other 6 are in the Cowboys conference. When you are going to be without one of your 2 best guys for nearly half the season, that's going to cost you a game or 2. Costing you a game or 2 is the difference between having a bye and not having a bye. Having home field, not having home field. You can't just recover from that.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.